Have you ever wondered why some leaders micromanage, take things personally, and seek constant validation? Maybe they are just miserable, or maybe they might have low self worth. My name is Danicia Morris-Rouse, and my argument is that healthy self worth is critical to effective leadership. Used interchangeably, self worth or self esteem is defined as the way an individual evaluates or perceives themselves in terms of ability, importance, and value. Ultimately, secure self worth determines an impactful leadership style, fosters the empowerment of individuals, and enables leaders to handle conflicts effectively. The first claim is that leaders with high self esteem adopt leadership styles that lead to positive workplace outcomes. According to Hicks 2021, micromanagement often stems from a leader's intense need to succeed and a deep fear of failure, which causes them to adopt controlling and harmful leadership styles. Hence, leaders with high esteem would be less likely to micromanage, be dictatorial, and display an authoritarian leadership style because they understand that their worth is not contingent on their ability to drive workplace achievement. Additionally, these leaders are more likely to practice transformational or servant leadership. Vasasova et al. 2021 explains that leaders with high self esteem have self confidence, enthusiasm, are more accepting of their errors, and are conscious of personal strengths. It is important to note that those traits, among others, are all characteristic of a transformational or servant leader. Leaders with high self esteem are also willing to learn and listen to others. These leaders are open to both positive and negative feedback and allow themselves to observe and learn valuable skills and lessons from subordinates without feelings of inferiority. In addition to adopting positive leadership styles, leaders with low self worth often operate in a demeaning, controlling, and oppressive manner. I once had a supervisor who would give me tasks to write reports, proposals, and letters. When I submitted them, she would always find ways to pick them apart or sometimes redo them herself. She even insulted me in the presence of another supervisor. Her behavior negatively affected my mental and physical health, and I realized it was difficult for her to let others shine because she seemed to struggle with her security and self worth. This resulted in less efficient completion of tasks and a highly stressful work environment. On the other hand, leaders with high self worth are not threatened by the strengths and abilities of their employees. According to Zhang et al. 2018, these leaders strive to establish a work environment characterized by employee autonomy and professional conduct. Additionally, these leaders are self assured and emotionally secure, which inspires others to feel empowered and take initiative to learn from their mistakes. In addition to empowering others, conflicts are best handled in workplaces whose leaders have high self esteem. According to Ahmad et al. 2021, servant leaders can educate employees to remain positive when exposed to micro level threats. These situations are well mitigated because of the leader's ability to offer support and reinforce employee resilience when conflicts occur. Furthermore, such leaders are more open to feedback and contrasting opinions, which helps them view conflict as an opportunity to grow rather than a personal attack. Researchers Kuzes and Posner 2019 indicate that in setting example for others, managers become vulnerable because they open themselves up to negative feedback. A manager that can channel this vulnerability into growth and development has a valuable conflict management and resolution strategy. Leaders with secure self worth are less likely to take conflict personally and will approach arguments with regulated emotions and fairness. If a leader is secure in themselves, they will be able to actively engage in conflict resolution strategies that would ultimately benefit all parties involved. On the other hand, some may argue that effective leadership is more about skill and experience than self worth. Research by Cracked and Gwenter 2018 reveals that a leadership training has a positive impact on leadership effectiveness and helps develop leader identity for less experienced leaders. This suggests that training in areas such as communication, conflict resolution, or decision making helps develop effectiveness regardless of the individual's self worth. This perspective asserts that a leader can succeed with years of practice and proper leadership training, regardless of their perceived intrinsic value. However, while skill and experience are important for leadership effectiveness, they can be undermined if a leader does not have healthy self worth. Shrivastava et al. 2022 argues that a leader's high self esteem improves their effectiveness through ethical leadership since they are enthusiastic, not overly critical, set high standards, and gain trust within the workplace. Furthermore, leaders with secure self worth are more likely to exhibit emotional intelligence, which allows them to lead with empathy, regulate their emotions, and develop meaningful interpersonal relationships, qualities that skills training and experience alone may not nurture. Thank you for listening. These are the references that helped build my argument.